75 million people. That's how many in the eastern U.S. had some risk of severe weather yesterday. That's what's first up this Wednesday on CNN Student News. Parts of Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee were raked by suspected tornadoes. The storms killed at least 17 people in those three states, in addition to those who died in the central U.S. earlier this week. In Louisville, a logging town in East Mississippi, the damage from twisters was severe. Same thing in Tupelo, in the northeastern part of the state. A newspaper reporter there said that some buildings were just wiped away. A woman whose home was destroyed said that it hurts to look and not be able to come home, but that she was grateful that her dog survived and wasn't hurt. Forecasters are getting better at predicting these storms, sometimes as much as a day in advance. Communications are also improving. Radio warnings, newscasts, social media posts are all helping save lives. But not everyone has a safe place to go to, like an underground basement or a hardened safe room, so challenges remain.
From my experience, it's the worst that I've experienced, but again, we just have to make it happen, and that's the IOC's approach. We haven't had to, as an IOC, send people in like this before. We've been struggling to get them to understand the problem. Test events are starting this year, and yet in the test event department, there's 2 people working.
Okay, that was the vice president of the International Olympic Committee, the IOC. He's saying that Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is way behind in preparing for the 2016 Olympic Summer Games. Any city planning to host the Olympics is subject to scrutiny. Will construction be done on time? Will the area be safe? We heard concerns about Sochi, London, Beijing, and now Rio. But the IOC says it's having to take a more hands-on approach this time around. There have been delays, communications problems, skyrocketing costs, and Rio is hosting the World Cup soccer tournament this summer, so it's been preparing for that too. The city's mayor says there's no reason for concern about the Olympics, and Rio organizers say Brazil is spending almost $11 billion to make sure everything comes together. These will be the first Olympics ever held in South America. As Rio scrambles to prepare and reassure future tourists that it's worth the trip, a Mexican city is working to lure tourists back. We're taking you to Puerto Vallarta, a resort in Mexico's Pacific coast, a haven for fishing, golf, and sunbathing. It's been hit by recession, sickness, and concerns about the Mexican drug war. But it says that violence is hundreds of miles away.
Whether parasailing over the Pacific Ocean or taking a tour on a historic ship on a beautiful afternoon, or dancing through the night at a trendy dance club, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, seems to always be in a party mood.
And we're not just another beach town.
Carlos Gerard Guzman is the tourism director in Puerto Vallarta, a beach resort on the Mexican Pacific coast. His job is to revitalize an industry that was all but dead 5 years ago. Drug violence throughout Mexico had driven away many tourists, and then in 2009, an influenza scare made a bad situation even worse.
We were basically paralyzed, like almost 3 months with no guests, no cruise ships in 3 months. And then it made a domino effect with no flights, people were afraid to fly.
Many hotels laid off employees and kept a skeleton staff. Some businesses closed down, and many wondered whether tourists would ever come back. Recovery has been slow but promising, thanks to significant investments in promotion in Mexico and abroad. New or renovated infrastructure like this $2.4 million pier is also part of the plan.
This multi-million-dollar project is one of several that had been completed here in Puerto Vallarta in the last couple of years. Tourism officials say their goal is to attract new tourists and to send a message to those who have been here in the past that it's time to return.
In 2012, 3.7 million people visited Puerto Vallarta, a figure that increased by 5% last year. Almost 40% are foreigners, mainly American and Canadian. Drug violence has not really stopped in Mexico, but officials say it happens far away from tourist destinations like Puerto Vallarta.
Next today, there's no one cure for cancer. There are treatments like surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation, and while they can help people live longer or even push cancer into remission, they often come with side effects, and questions about quality of life are raised. If there's one person who can discuss that quality, it's Stephen Sutton, a cancer patient in Britain.
The old saying goes, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. But what do you do when life gives you cancer?
Stephen Sutton was diagnosed with cancer in December 2010. He was just 15 years old. He created a bucket list on Facebook of 46 things he wanted to do before he ran out of time.
Some of the things on my bucket list include skydiving, crowd surf in a rubber dinghy, the drum in front of a huge crowd. I ended up doing this live at Wembley.
But as he checked off each item, something else happened.
Since starting the bucket list, I've had people come up to me and offer to raise funds for me, i.e. for me personally, to go on a holiday or to tick off another item of my bucket list. But I've actually refused and decided to give the money to charity instead.
He set a goal to raise £10,000. Well, he's now raised more than $3 million. That's about $5 million. And it's continuing to grow, with celebrities chipping in with their support every day.
Since starting the bucket list, my life has changed completely. I'm now doing so many weird and wonderful things and so much more. The amount of opportunities I'm having chucked my way is absolutely immense, and the one thing I've really enjoyed is the fundraising and helping others. So that's the main thing I now want to concentrate on.
The money goes to Teenage Cancer Trust, the charity that has helped him through each surgery, each round of radiation and chemotherapy.
We aren't a large charity. We raise about £12 million a year, and in less than a week Stephen has raised a quarter of our budget.
But no amount of money can reverse the cancer in Stephen's body. He has exhausted his medical options and is now living as comfortably as he can under hospice care. On the 22nd of April, Stephen posted this message. It's a final thumbs up for me. I've done well to blag things as well as I have up till now, but unfortunately, I think this is just one hurdle too far.
Amazing young man.
But Stephen held on. For how long, he doesn't know, but he has promised to continue posting for as long as he can.
I don't really want to die, but if my story teaches others not to take life for granted, then so be it. In the meantime, I'll be trying to enjoy every second as much as possible. Cancer sucks, but life is great.
Atika Schubert, CNN, London.
On our roll call today, we're visiting Saudi Arabia, Netherlands, and Puerto Rico. Sounds like Worldwide Wednesday. We'll start in the Middle East, where we're online at Jubail International School. They're on our roll in Jubail, Saudi Arabia. Next, to Europe. Thank you for watching at Dresdar College. It's in Gouda, a city in the Netherlands. And we'll wrap up today's roll in Puerto Rico. Good to see our viewers in Fort Buchanan. They're watching at Antilles Middle School. Clip Springer. Kind of sounds like something that'd keep a bag of chips fresh. Dwarf antelope. Sounds more like this. But whether you call her a Clip Springer or antelope, you gotta call her cute. She's the latest addition to Chicago's Lincoln Park Zoo. Her mom wasn't taking very good care of her, so zookeepers stepped in to bottle feed the little girl, though you can't bottle this much sweetness. She weighs 4 pounds and will top out at about 24 pounds as an adult. Of course, as a baby, she can't lope yet, but there is a clip spring in her step, and she's got plenty room in it to grow. So best to let her just roam around while we hoof it and plan to bounce back your way tomorrow. I'm Carl Azus for CNN Student News.